And then sending that intention into every cell. We're going to start in all fours. And our theme in all fours. We're good? Oh, I see. So we should start again. No, that's okay. Here we go. This is epic. I hope it's half as good as the first one. Okay, give me a 3, 2, 1. Thank you for joining me today. I'm Luke. If we haven't met, nice to meet you virtually today. Inviting you at home to set up your space, find some sun coming in a window if you can, and join me for the next 40 to 50 minutes. We're going to do an asana flow. Our theme for today is we're going to go through some of my usual poses and techniques and sequences, and I'm going to be explaining why I do what I do, and we're going to be present and grounded as our underlying theme. So starting in Sukhasana, good old seated Buddha pose. Easy pose it translates to. I like to use a little block. Those who are tighter in the hips, it's a nice suggestion. Find your Sukhasana at home, your easy pose. We're going to drop in together. And it all starts with the breath, which is the spirit moving through us. So find your easy, release from the body, move to the breath. Thank you for joining me today. Our 4/20/20 version. Quite an exciting day in some communities today. We start our asana with a little meditation where we can disconnect from whatever the day had and be present on our mat, maybe with some sunshine. Wherever you are, thank you for joining me. Join me for 3 long, deep breaths. Big inhale. Let it out. Use the mouth if you need. Really open up that lower belly. Expand the diaphragm. Last one, biggest one. Take in more. Inhale. And exhale. Let the breath find its way back to wherever it wants to go. Ideally, we're holding an inhale, exhale through the nose as a metronome in the background of our practice, the yogic breath as it's often known. Find your breath, find your metronome. And from here, we're going to move the awareness down into the sit bones. Our theme for our meditation is connecting to the earth, connecting to our nature, rooted through the sit bones. Take 3 breaths as you connect down to Mother Gaia. And do that however you like. Maybe grow roots down into the center of the earth. Maybe stay on the surface of the earth and interact with the water and the sunshine. Feel supported. Invite the spine to get longer. Let the sit bones be heavier. The shoulders soft down the back and open in that upper chest. I'm just inviting you to take notice of nature and spend time with nature out in the grass, with the trees, with the other aspects of nature as spring and summer arrive. Further inviting you as we move through changing times to go back to nature for answers. Go back to time in nature for a place where answers and questions can both be birthed. 2 more breaths there. Feeling that connection to Mother Gaia. Taking from her strength, renewal, expansion. Inviting that into you. 2 more breaths. Closing that connection. And invite the hands to come back in front of the heart if they're elsewhere. Close the meditation. Find an intention for your practice tonight. Why are you here on your mat? As you inhale, breathe that in. As you exhale, send it to every cell in the body. Do one more like that, a bigger, longer breath. And inviting that intention into every cell, starting with the fingertips wide. All fours is where we start. And I'm going to add a little bit of monologue to our usual flow tonight. So find your all fours. And I'm going to speak to why we do the poses. So we start in all fours because it's an easy place to move from. Invite that movement. Close your eyes. Move hips. Move everything. There's nothing that can't be moved. Wiggle the ears. Let every piece of hair have some movement. And this is where we check in with the body and we find out if there's a tight shoulder, if that toe you stubbed earlier is still a little bit soft, whatever it is. Let's take 2 breaths of cat-cow. And cat-cow is an opening of the upper body, front body as you inhale, and then a closing as you exhale, which opens the back body. Do one more. Take more in. Open the front more. Tail sticks out. And then close more as you curl in. Good. And from here, I like to activate. So this is where the tripod comes in. So now we activate the core. Let's take the right leg back. And we draw the navel in. And we take the left arm forward. And there's lots of poses you can do from your all fours. So when you're at home making your own practices, pick your favorite poses from all fours to wake your body up. Let's do 2 tiger curls. Here we go. Inhale, reach, grow long. Exhale, curl, come in tight. And bring the heart down. It's just an active cat-cow. So it's that same open the front body movement on the inhale and close it on the exhale. Good. Let's go back to all fours. Wash it away with a big cat-cow. Be dramatic. That means lots of movement. And really draw the belly up and in. Tuck it in. More. Good. Let's do one more. Big, long breath. And we keep that upper chest open. Good. We got to do the second side. Good yoga is balanced. So it's the leg back. It's the navel in. This engages the core and gives us that length which extends out through the arm. Inhale, reach. Let's do 2. Exhale, curl. 2 more. Reach further. And you can reach out through the heel or the toe, whatever feels better in your body. Curl tighter. And then it's back to cat-cow. It's back to a check-in. How's that toe? How's that sore spot? How's the temperature in the body? Checking in all these things. And then from here we come on to the toes. This is a personal favorite because it's kind of fun. It's actually about opening the toes, but it appears to be a core exercise. Let's bring the knees up by drawing the bum up. Just draw the sit bones up like that. Good. And just hold. Soften the neck. See if you can wiggle your ears. Good. One more breath. We're keeping the shoulders down the back. They sometimes creep up into the armpits and into the earrings. We don't want earrings. Let's come down, patter out the feet. That inner child. Let's not get too serious. Let's stay childlike. Here we go. We're going to go to dog pose. So here we open the toes. If you need more warm-up when you do your self-practice, you can do things on the knees and that. But we're going to go straight to dog pose. We're doing the 45-minute version. You can always do the hour and 45-minute version or the 25-minute version. Here we go. Wide hands. I push into them and I take my bum back, which is the essence of dog pose. And we start with bent knees, walking the feet, swaying the bum, whatever you need. It's that next level in opening the body. We're getting ready for the more active poses we have coming. Heart melting. And dog pose is such a good pose. Our heels get heavy. Keep your fingers wide. Just be. And here we should find the breath. If we've lost it, we're worried too much about what Luke's saying, what the alignment is. Feel into the body and just be with the breath. Oh, it's Vinyasa. We keep moving. Find the top of the mat. Step there. Jump there. Join me there. I'm switching to face you. Inhale, reach. Exhale, find your favorite feet and heart center. Here we go. 3 big swan dives. Some people like it a little wider, maybe a little more toe to toe. I'm a bit more of a hip distance myself. Here we go. 3 big dives. Inhale, reach. Open the upper chest. Exhale, dive and fold. Stick the bum out, but draw the belly in as you do so. 2 more. Move with the breath. Tall. and fold. One more, last one, biggest one. Inhale, push through the feet, come all the way up. And then exhale, find the top of the mat. So here we go, moving into the flowing sun salutation. You know the sequence. Here we go. Inhale, reach. So it starts with a swan dive. Exhale, dive and fold. Keep a little micro bend as you half lift. And we reach the heart away from the sit bones, and then we fold through the vinyasa. Jump there, step there, maybe even drop to your knees. Lower chaturanga. And then when we come onto the tops of the feet, we open for the back bend of your choice. It's a cobra, or maybe it's an upward facing dog. And then dog pose. Back onto the toes. That's super important. They should be open and alive now. Come into all of them. Dance less and sit more. And as you're ready, find the top of the mat. I'm stepping with the other foot. Pushing through the feet, coming up. Exhale to the heart. Good. We're going to add a little tree pose here before we jump into the super sun salutation. And we're going to do that to establish some balance. So a lot of my sequences are very balance heavy. Balance starts with 2 feet. Find your 2-footed balance. And then we'll pick our favorite leg. Let's start with the right. It always gets more attention in yoga classes. Getting to go first. We come up onto the right. And then we open and find a focal point. Something beyond you. Something connected to the greater. Push into the space above the knee, or push into the space below the knee. And if this is all too wobbly, heel above heel, ground through both feet. Open the lower belly. You can close your eyes for more challenge in any balance pose, and grow your favorite tree. And I invite you to grow a favorite tree at home, or water a favorite tree you have already at home. Take a breath or two here. Balancing and opening. Taking that balanced, grounded feeling through the rest of your practice. Let's contract the tree. Here we go. We start by bringing in the branches. And then we help that knee to center. And let's draw it in and let's do 2 big hugs. So we draw in and sit up. Let's do 2 breaths. Big inhale. And then squeeze in and stand up. Good. One more. And then shake it out. Good. So we're sticking with our theme of grounded, adding balance. I love balance poses. Here we go, second side, because they keep all the small little muscles that get lazy strong. Balance is one of the first things you lose. So if we keep using it, so I'm going the more common one. You can also go legs straight out to the side and grab the big toe, Ashtanga saddle, if that's your thing. Open the lower belly. Open. And if it's a wobbly day, it's a heel above heel. Honor your day wherever you are. Close the eyes if you're feeling awesome and asking for a little more challenge in your tree. If there's a tree you're worried about, send it some love through your feet, out to its roots, through the mycelium. All is connected. All is one. Here we go, bringing in the tree. Slow and controlled is always the theme. As I bring my arms into center, that gives me more grounding and centeredness. I help the knee to center. I hug and breathe. Big inhale. Squeeze. Sit up taller. Stand up taller. One more breath. Good. And then as you exhale, ground into the feet. Here we go. Super sun salutation. I made this up myself. It's a power version of the regular sun salutation. Let's see how we do. Find your favorite feet. Starts in chair pose. So arms can go up and we can sit into the chair, or our modification is to sit down with the arms and try to fold less and sit more. Get heavy in the heels. Any further, I'm going to fall into my bum. That's where I want to be. Good. Inhale, grow long. Keep flowing. It's the sun salutation. Exhale, fold. The half breath is the relaxed breath, so enjoy it. And then it's back to strong as we find plank. Maybe jump there. And then we go side plank. I'm going to start with left so you can see me. I push into the outside of my foot. I grow long. Draw the bum away from the ground. And all the fancy moves go from there. My modification is the knee under the hip. Here we go, second side. Roll through the toes, or if you're going for the mod, you go from knee to knee, and you stack the second side. Most of the fancy moves start with bringing the leg away from the other leg. Here we go, back to the Vinyasa. So back to our plank, lower chaturanga. The tops of the feet, thighs draw together for your favorite back bend. And then it's dog pose. And I was coming from my knees, so I pushed through my knees, which is the modified version. Here we go. Inhale, right leg up. Take it high. Keep the heart reaching. And sometimes in the Super Sun Salutation, I hold it. Other times we just step. To the lunge we go. And if I don't get there, I help the foot. It's a long lunge, so I can drop the pelvis low. If you're too short, it's a different pose. Long runner's lunge, as they call it. And we find the balance, sit, lengthen, tuck the lower ribs, then the arms, and from here we fly. I like to take a few steps back to the balance pose. Maybe the hands are into the heart, beside, whatever you need. Keep flowing. Inhale, step way back. Exhale. And you can skip a vinyasa, which I'm going to do just so I can keep my breath. But go through the lowering. Meet me in dog pose. Take child's pose if you need it. Here we go. Second side. Up goes on the inhale. Notice my knee comes into my heart so I can step long. I draw the feet down together so I can come up. And then I sit. And then I fly. Open the heart. It's all a prerequisite for Warrior 3, which is where we're going. Keep the shoulders down the back, and then flow your way back to dog pose. Move with the breath. Inhale, step back. Exhale, lower chaturanga. And the 3-point chaturanga, which is a common thing, reach out through the foot and lowers 3 points, but then come back to 2 and dog pose. Good. I'm going to walk my hands to the feet, and we're going to set up for a fold. So find your favorite. With the feet, I'm going back to my usual, which is hip. What's your favorite? Here we go. Inhale, half lift, and then fold to the deepest because we're going for 6 breaths. I like to bring a little extra bend into my knee. I'm not the most bendy. And then I get a good grip on my toes maybe, and then I straighten out the legs. Keep the belly reaching for the thigh. Keep the heart reaching down. You can stand on the hands, grab the ankles, whatever you like. Check out your toe polish. One more breath. Working, not just hanging out in our forward fold. Here we go, half lift, big inhale, and then fold even deeper. And then let's just melt our way up. I know we're at the back of the mat, but that's fine. Because we're going to do one more balance. We're going to do eagle pose. So let's just take a step to the inside of the mat. I like to do eagle pose. It's one of my favorite ones because it's a twist pose and it gets into the shoulders, especially for guys. Our shoulders get tight, all the pushing we've done and all the stretching maybe we haven't done. Let's start with the arms. Keep the elbows up, out on the inhale. Twist it up. So we come back. So I'm getting the elbows twisted and coming back to the hand. You can grab the thumb. You can bring palm to palm. And if the elbows start doing like this and you're having trouble staying up, bring in the self hug. Keep those elbows up higher or twist it up higher. Fingers out of the face. You can add the leg or save it for another day and focus more on the shoulders, whatever you like. And then it's just chair pose. Here we go. I'm not going to join you. Take the elbows up and then take the bum down. Focus on whatever your focal point is. And the focal point is important because it holds your balance. Sit deeper. Take 2 more breaths. Elbows out of the face. Feel the groundedness, the connected to the earth in your single foot or your double feet. 1 more breath. Here we go. Inhale, open. Exhale, ground. Let's wash away with a dive fold. The point of this breath is to get back to balanced. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Exhale, fold. So whatever you need, this is where your self-practice becomes your individual practice. What do you need? Do you need a little shake? Do you need a little shoulder movement? A big breath? A little side to side? Straighter legs? Rolling up. Take whatever you need and then come back to Tadasana, because the second side deserves the same love, honor, and respect as the first side. Here we go. Out go the arms. Keep them up. It's about shoulder opening. So we're right under left this time. Or we're left under right. There we go. We're left under right. The other arm. Grab the finger. Or find the palms. Or self-hug. Where's your practice today? And then add the leg. Sometimes you can sit into the chair and then add the leg later. Or you can do the hot 26 step back. Elbows up and away. 2 more breaths. Close your eyes if you're feeling strong. Or stay on your focal point if that's more important to you. 1 more breath. Grounded in your single foot. Inhale, open. Exhale, ground. Good. Here we go. Super Sun A again. You remember? It's the supercharged version. And the chair pose should be easy now because we just did single leg chair pose. Inhale, reach. Arms up or down. Exhale, sit into the chair. We're going to add a twist. Let's go up on the inhale with both arms. And then right elbow over. So we bring the elbow over. We take the bum out without bringing it up. We're still in the chair. And I gaze to the side. Good. Let's go second side. And you can cheat by going lengthen or stay in the chair. And then exhale. Whatever works for you. It's your practice. No one's keeping score. 1 more breath. And then lengthen everything on an inhale. Fold on the exhale. Meet me at plank, half lift. Moving with your breath, stepping, jumping back. And you can always use the modifications. Side plank, here we go. We're moving quicker. I stay long and strong. I don't stick my bum up. I roll through my toes. I can't see, but I'm trying to keep perfect. And back to dog pose. I'm going to just meet you there. This saves me huffing and puffing. The chaturangas are a little challenging. That's why they're there. Meet me in dog pose. And dog pose can always be a child's pose. Knees down. If you were in child's pose, meet me here. All fours. I like to come onto the top of the foot. You can stay on the toes. Take the right leg back. Here we go. Modified half moon. One of my favorite poses is this pose because it's easier than half moon and it's a great balance pose. Uses the core, uses balance. Here we go, second side, roll through the toes. That's why I do it. We probably won't get to full half moon today. Let's go second side, leg back. Come up. Reach the arms away from each other. That's important. Long in the spine. Notice which side is a little trickier. My left side was trickier for sure. Back to all fours. Let's wash that away with a big cat-cow. And I do these cat-cow breaths or folds strategically just to wash poses away. So we're going to go to dolphin. But before we do that, we're going to hover the knees again. So we come back onto the toes. Remember, the knee hover thing looks like a core thing, but it's actually about opening the toes. So widen your toes if you can. Sometimes it's nice to even have a friend pull your toes apart so they're more rooted. Knees up, neck down, soft in the shoulders and the breath. Strong in the core and the arms. 1 more breath. You can also do kickbacks with the legs or the side-to-side thing we do sometimes. I'm skipping that stuff today, but you can do whatever you want as part of your home practice. Particularly when you're on the beach and you're not watching the video. 1 more breath. Remember the sequences. We started on all fours. We did some sun salutations. Now we're moving into some other cool poses. Dolphin. Here we go. Forearms. It's not a forearm dog pose, although some people think it is. And it's described that way. It's different. The forearms are the heavy part. So it's actually a backwards dog pose. Bum comes up, toes come in. And we root down. We open the shoulders. Good. And then from here, we're going to go into dog pose or into plank. I like to step my feet back because I know I'm a little bit longer. And then I push up and I adjust wide. Then take the vinyasa. Meet me in dog pose. Keep those elbows close as you back bend. Don't let them splay out during the chaturanga. And catch your breath in dog pose. That's what it's there for. Good. We're going to go from here into crow pose. So start to get your weight into your feet. Walk your hands back. Put all the weight in your feet. And then we're going to change the game. We're going to take all that weight and put it into the hands. Because crow is an arm balance. Shoulder distant arms. I'm drawing in that opening a jar sensation. My bum is high. It's not low. It's high. Wide fingers, knees to the backs of the arms. And I float. And I draw in. Good. And then I come into the yogi squat, which is defined as rooted feet. So if you're too close, you come up onto the toes, you see? You want to be, push the hands into each other. Close your eyes. Connect to your intention. Take 2 breaths there. Good. Let's inhale, straighten, open the eyes. One more crow pose. Okay, so our best approach is crouch. Arms. High bum. Find the plateau. Trust it. And then come up. And when you're done, the yogi squat. Bring the hands to the thighs. Bring the bum down. Play with me. Push. Twist. Whatever you want to do. There's so many versions. You can sag the head. Get in the shoulders. 2 more breaths. You should be at the back of your mat. I'm going to join you there. Stopping side to side movement. Let's inhale, straighten. Let's take the feet wide. Call it about as wide as the mat. Bum back. We're folding. Find a favorite version. Melt the heart down. Grab a toe. Grab an ankle. If they're too far, bend the knees more and bring your heart down. Yes. Surrender. And be. So most flows, which is where we're going to go, move through some unique poses. For me, I like to do arm balances and balances. So we've done a few of those. Now we're going to go back to some more classical standing sequence moves like Warrior 2, Trikonasana, this sort of stuff. Here we go. Coming up. Let's do a big dive fold. And then we're going back to dog pose. Inhale, reach. And then down. Bring your feet in by putting weight into the hands. That's easy. And then walk the hands, lots of bend in the knees, back to dog pose. Take a breath there. And then step to the top of the mat. Come all the way up on an inhale. To the heart on the exhale. So we're going to step long on the mat. I'm going to root into my left foot and join you wide-legged. Find me here. So we're going to do just the wide-legged version of what we just did. Notice how it feels different and push down a little more with your feet. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Belly in. Just like any other fold, heart dives. So I'm kind of medium wide. You can go a little wider than me if you want. Maybe your crown's reaching the ground. Who cares? It's not a contest. Find a medium wide that feels medium to you. And take 2 more breaths going deeper into that pose. Remember to use the breath to go deeper. There's a space during the exhale that's created that allows you to go more. Good. We're going to come up for some Warrior 2. Let's bring the hands to the waist, pushing through the hands and the feet. If you've been to my classes, you know sometimes I drop a Trikonasana and then the Warrior 2. Today's a Warrior 2 day. Let's go longer. So if you're at medium, go medium plus. Start going to large, wide, because you should be as wide as your lunge from earlier. So get a note. I'm about as wide as my lunge from earlier. Thigh back. I'm starting with the left foot forward. We're opening the lower belly just like we did in tree pose. Warrior 2 is a pelvis opening pose. People don't know this. Because of the gaze over the front arm, there's way too much focus in that direction. It's actually more about opening this way. Good. Let's go up on an inhale and then sit back into a reclined warrior. Don't let that front leg straighten. It might try. Stay deep. Keep the right thigh back and surrender. Lengthen your side body. Invite space between the ribs. Good. And we're going to get humble now. So we come back up through Warrior 2. We take our heart forward. That's important to reach it forward. Bum back. Heart forward. Just like any other fold. And then maybe you can bring the arms up. You can also keep them down if that's too much. Thighs drawing back. So I'm just in Warrior 2 in my legs, but my upper body's surrendering into humble warrior. Let's come up. Second side. Toes in from the left, out from the right. Long, trusting lunge. I trust my legs. I open my pelvis. I spiral out. I catch a glimpse of my upper toes. And here we go. Up on the inhale. And then back. And sometimes you can push the left hand into the left leg. Something I learned once. It's kind of weird, but it activates the leg in a way that allows you to keep the pelvis open. Reach the right arm higher. Tickle the heavens. And from here we go humble. So we come out of the pose, but we stay in the legs. We reach forward with the heart, lengthen the spine, and then fold. Maybe going up in the back. We're just melting the arms. Never leaving the legs. The whole Warrior 2 sequence, as our most Warrior 2 sequences, are always about the legs. Let's come up. So here we're going for our inversion. I'm going to show tripod headstand again from a side angle. If it's not an inversion day for you, just do a forward fold for the next, let's call it 12 to 15 breaths. So inhale, reach. My more advanced inverters, you can invert from wide legs. I'm going to start from narrow legs and the knees. So this is where we start if we want to do inversions. Ideally with a wall, or be okay to just roll if you go too far. Triangle. Step 1. Walk my toes in. Step 2. Bring my knees to the arms. Step 3. Off the arms. Step 4. All the fancy leg moves. Step 5. And I'm keeping weight in the triangle the whole time. So my other inverters, you're in your straddle pike of some kind. Let's go back and join our folders with wide legs. See how smooth I can come down. And then just coming back up. And we're going goddess pose. And I like to do goddess pose because it's an excuse to remind you of your divinity, which is extra important in changing times like these. Heels in, bum down. And it's also just another chair pose. I'm a big fan of chair poses because they build a lot of leg strength. This is a disguised chair pose. So dance. Cactus arms. Keep them down. Straight out to the side. There's lots of arms. You can do this one. Cactus is good because anything cactus builds shoulder strength. This is where we go if that's too much and we need to give those shoulders a break. Close your eyes. Drop in. Sit lower. Open the pelvis. Let me remind you of your divinity. Let me remind you of the oneness you're part of. One more breath. Consider this an invitation to do what you're here to do. One more breath. And then we inhale and we straighten. Let's go extra wide. So whatever was your medium, go to large, and then go to extra, and then fold. And from here we lunge. I'm a big fan of this pose because lunging gets into all the spots. Ooh, like that spot. And it tells you which side is tighter. It tells you which side is stronger. It invites you into deeper relationship. I'm using lots of arms as I go from side to side. Use less arms if you can. Just feel, where does it feel good? Oh, that's a good spot. It's your body, it's your practice, and it always is changing. One more breath. And come back to center. And let's bring extra large to medium or large. We're going to do a big twist here. Big inhale. Let's go out. And let's take our right hand down. And then we're going to twist. So we push into the right hand, making a little bit of a triangle with our feet. And then we reach up with the left. And then we go further. Maybe even further. Good. And then we replace them. So we're vinyasaning. That is, we're moving with the breath. So even when we stop in a pose like this for a couple breaths, we're actually lengthening on an inhale and twisting and lengthening and twisting. So we're not static. We're moving. And then we come back. Let's just do a dramatic half lift for fun. Remembering our playful side. Here we go. And getting long in the spine and letting all that go. Good. Feet even closer together. And then hands to the waist. And we push down with the hands and the feet. Come up with the heart and the head. We take the left foot to the front of the mat. And we take a big step with the right. Okay, and I'm going to just talk you through a sun salutation. Invite you to close your eyes. There's nothing to look at here. Just listen. You know the sequence. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Exhale, dive and fold. It's always with the breath. Inhale, half lift. Long as the spine. Surrender as you fold to plank. So step there, jump there, whatever your favorite is. Lower on the exhale. Always at the pace of your breath. Back bend. Remember to open that upper chest and push into the feet. And then dog pose. And just drop in a little deeper here. Open the heart. Take one more breath. And I'm going to join you we're going to do a couple back bends from our dog pose. There's no such thing as a bad or a good back bend. They're all useful. Here we go, onto the knees. And I like to demonstrate camel because it makes for a nice one on camera, and it's one of my favorites. I know I do locust and bow pose a lot in class. Those are some really good favorites for adjusting people, which is often why I do those ones. We're not adjusting people in the class today, so we're going to do some camel. Standing or on the knees, we start with that heel of the hand in the back, fingers in the bum. And maybe that's as far as we go. Most of us can reach our heart forward, lengthen our spine, and find the heels with the hand. And if that's too much, do one at a time. So I'll demo one at a time. Here we go. Find your camel, your version of it. I'll do a one-sided camel, and obviously switch. So this is what I'm doing is I'm transitioning from my bum and back to my heels. It's the halfway point. And when we come out, I bring my bum back. We're going to go to child's pose. And I bring my heart forward. And we use child's pose as a bit of a wiggle away. That is to say, movement that can wash all that away. Because we're going to do one more, of course. So what do you need? Find your child's pose. It's not a sleepy, dreamy child's pose. It's a bit of a shake. Stay active. We're in the middle of a back bend sequence kind of child's pose. Okay, here we go. And my really bendy folks at home, I invite you to stay on the tops of your feet and bring the heel of your hand to the heel of your foot. That's the deepest version, which I'm not going to demonstrate today. I'll do just the regular version. So I'm on my toes. This brings my heels up higher, so they're closer and easier to reach. I've moved past the bum. I've moved past one arm at a time. I'm going to go both for my heels. Here I go. I've leaned back. I surrender. And I push my heart up and out. Join me in your camel for 3 breaths. Open the heart. And we're going to go back to that child's pose. Remember, the bum comes back. The heart comes forward. And it's not the sleepy child's pose. It's the dancing child's pose. Get into the hips. Feel about what's going on. Depending on the length of a class, often you can add some other standing sequence events here or go deeper into things. Add another sun salutation with some warrior threes or something. We're going to skip all that because we're doing the 45-minute version. But remember that you can add all that if you're doing a longer practice on the beach later. Here we go. Let's go back to dog pose from here. So we're coming out of a sleepy position back into a moderately active one, reminding ourselves that it's not sleepy time. It's still vinyasa time. We could also do some more dolphins here. We're going to skip all that. We're going to find the top of the mat. And push through the feet, coming all the way up. Good. So from here, we're going to prepare to get onto our bum, which takes us later onto our back body. So that is to say, the next part of our sequence. We've also skipped doing a pigeon or something. We'll do a couple other things on our back body later. Let's start with zombie squat. I'm going to switch my position. This is a tricky and fun pose, also classified as a balance pose. You've probably done it with me. Zombie apocalypse arms. It's good time for that. Shoulders down the back. And we draw the thighs together, and you can squeeze the block. Blocks like this aren't the best. I'm going to use it anyways. The fatter, more regular block creates that mono leg, so it's easier to come up onto the toes. And then we'll just do the 2-breath version. And sometimes I like to slow down things and take 2 or 4 breaths, because then you have to be stronger. Moving back to side angle. So the idea here is we're just transitioning in a creative way onto our bum. If you need hands, use them. If you don't, try not. We're going Navasana. Here we go. At Navasana, you can't do a yoga class without Navasana, arguably. Opening our heart. Our modification is to grab under the knees. You saw me doing that naturally as I was kind of finding my space. But generally speaking, we come up. We might even straighten out the legs even more. Let's do one more breath. You can add twists, other things here. I'm going to move right into our next pose, which is reverse tabletop. Onto the feet. I like to put the weight into my bum and then consciously take it into my hands as I set up however long I am. Usually it's just behind the bum where you want to put your hands. You want to be hip distance in the feet. Here we go. Really important in this pose to take your gaze back. So climb through the ceiling with your gaze and find the wall behind you. Push through all 4 limbs. Breathe. And when it's time to come down, we bring the bum so far back, and notice my tailbone. It's coming behind me, behind me. Oh, it's the front of my bum I sit on. My tail is sticking out the back. I'm primed for a forward fold. I bring my legs to straight or almost straight. Here we go. Inhale, reach. Be present in your body. Exhale, fold. Melt into the pose. Grab a toe. Set your block up past your feet. Pull your heart. Shimmy your bum behind you. Let almost straight legs get a little straighter. In the Ashtanga primary series, at this point in the practice, they would add lots of twist poses. In fact, let's add one today just for fun. So let's roll up. We're in the seated section of our progress. So what we can do is we can take one leg and we can cross it over. So let's do left over right. So I'm keeping my right relatively straight. I'm bringing in the left nice and tight. I'm going to take my right arm up, and then I'm going to take it away from the twisted left leg. And I can hook it on here. You can even bind. It's a little bit out of my twist for today. There's lots of twists you can do. Let's just do this one today. I'm not sure the Sanskrit for it. And there's a couple versions of this one with the bind. Let's untwist. Let's untwist the leg. Good old yoga style. Here we go, second side. Always on the front half of my bum for this pose. And here I go. I lengthen and I twist on the exhale. Melt into it. From here, we're going to do a reverse plank. The modification for reverse plank is reverse tabletop. So we've done our standing sequence. We're now into our seated sequence. These are just some of my favorite moves. And if you notice, when you follow things like the hot 26s or the Ashtangas, they generally follow a relatively similar. And if that's too much, step back onto the feet and do some fancy moves if you have them. And remember to do the fancy moves on both sides. Bum comes down, way back. And if you put it too far, pull the flesh of the bum behind you. Just imagine if you had a tail as an extension of your tailbone. Would you be sitting on it? If you would be, your bum's too under you, not behind you enough. Let's go bottoms of the feet together. I like to go kind of medium far. You can bring them in more. It's a slightly different pose. You can even go way further out. I like middle. What do you like? Inhale, reach. Here we go. 8 breaths. Exhale, fold. And this is a melting pose. Just like pigeon and some of our other folds, there's a little less active work. It's a little more surrender to the body as you would in a yin pose. But we're not staying here that long. Yeah, let's roll up. If there's any other stretches that you have as your favorites, now would be the time to do them speaking to your home practice. Because we're going to the studio less, we're doing more home practices, which means you have more time to be creative. This is another one here. We're going to skip this one, but you can do that one too. That one can also be done in conjunction with folds, etc. We're going to get ready for our back body. So let's scoot forward. If you have a microphone on your hip, move it onto the side so you don't step on it. Roll down or try to challenge yourself and just flop down. Really important here to feel all the ribs into the ground. Let go of standing, let go of sitting. Get used to being on the back body. This is where the progress of the asana is taking us. This is fine, this is perfect. Bring the knees in for a hug. You know, before zombie apocalypse, we'd say things like, take a moment to slow down your busy life of running around everywhere. Now, we face new challenges. Running around everywhere a little less. Sometimes being present a little bit more. Or having new challenge of being in one place at a time. Feel the ribs. Get used to the back body. And here, we're going to find a little windshield wiper. We can add a core sequence. I will often do like an L shape. Maybe we should just do one heart. Yeah, we got to do one heart. So I'm going to skip a big core sequence just because it's hard to talk and do big core sequences. But we got to do a heart. Use your arms as much as you need. The heart's just for fun. But remembering that you are love and that's why we're here. So let's not get too far away from that these days. Here we go. We go wide. So it's very strategic. We're doing a wide. And then we come together. And our modification for anything like this would be to grab the backs of the hips. Oh, that's too much. So I use my arms to support. Let's do one more. Send the love out. Go wide. Modification if you need it. Support yourself. Back together and then back up. Dead fly pose. Here we go. Spring is actually here. It's not a joke anymore. It's real. Bring it in. Be silly. Be funny. And this is designed to soften particularly the chest and the core, which is hard and strong from all the last stuff. The windshield wiper softens the hip flexors. And we want soft hip flexors for our back bend sequence, which is next up. So we're going to do just one. When you do your home sequence, it's nice to do 2, 3, or 4, especially if you want to go deeper. I'm going to demo bridge. If you have a wheel, do a wheel. Lots of different bridges. One of my favorite is to squeeze a block. Again, just like with the zombie squat, that mono leg can be created where you squeeze really hard and the legs are created. I don't have a block, but I'm going to imagine that I have one. Do the same if you're at home. I'm going for a bridge. Maybe find a wheel. Shoulders down the back. I can grab the ankles, which is a fave, or my personal fave is the interlaced hands. And I push into the feet to bring my pelvis up, and then I further push into the shoulder girdle. Take 5 breaths in your favorite back bend. This is our last back bend breaths together. And don't stop pushing in the legs. It's easy to get lazy. Keep the bum reaching up. My wheel friends, joining us back on the earth. Gentle, controlled. Bring the bum down. And I always invite, after a big pose like a back bend, to do whatever you need. My body's saying, let's do a couple windshield wipers. What's your body saying? We can add a shoulder stand here. I often do that in my longer class. If you want to do a shoulder stand or an inversion at the end of your practice, headstand is common in the Ashtanga. Some people don't like to do inversions too late into the evening because it gets them all activated. It can be hard to sleep. So if you are joining us for the later class, maybe it's too late in your day for an inversion, that's fine too. We're going to skip doing a shoulder stand. If you need to do a shoulder stand or something, do one at the end of your self-practice. We're going to go for a supine twist because that's a great pose. And I'm going to show you my favorite one. My knees are up. I'm going to take my left leg and I'm going to go over the right. And then I take my bum and I move it over to the left. So whichever leg's on top, scoot the bum to that side. And then from here, drop the knees all the way. And really come onto the side of the hip. That's important. You need to come onto the side of the hip. I'm long in my spine. And I'm then maybe taking my gaze, I'm losing my microphone, over the opposite arm, which is the left arm. So knees away from the gaze and the arm. And then surrendering, just like we did in our butterfly or wide-legged fold. We surrender, just like you do in your pigeon. You surrender. And when you're doing your practice at home, if you got a few extra minutes, stay a few extra minutes. This is yummy stuff. And technically a yin pose, but that's okay. We're allowed to add some yin poses to the end of our vinyasa. It's part of our cool down. It's part of the overall story of our time together. Let's come back to center. In a good yoga fashion, here we go, second side. I'm going right over left, and my bum is moving to the side, in this case the right, of the top leg. And I do that because I want to be able to come onto the side of the hip. If you don't get onto the side of the hip fully, you just don't get that base spine twist that really is part of the foundation of the pose. And I surrender. Supine is a very common end of a practice pose because the body's very warm at this point. It's good for twisting. If you do lotus related exercise or poses and practices, which I should do more of, we should all do more of, you could add those after or before your supine twist if you want to work on your lotus. It's like any stretch. The more you do it, the more you open. Good, and we come back to center. And we're going to go for some happy baby and then shavasana. But before you go into happy baby, I want you to ask yourself what pose you need. Just close your eyes. You're on your back body. Feel into the body and just see what you need. Maybe you need a little squeeze of the knees. Maybe you need to do a quick shoulder stand. I'm not sure what you need, but take 2 more breaths of that. And then meet me in happy baby pose. And all happy baby pose really is some kind of on your back movement. You can grab the outsides of the feet, like I'm demonstrating. You can grab the insides of the feet. I've seen people grab the ankles. You can drop the hips lower if you grab the ankles or even the calves. You can really bring the upper thighs down and deepen the pose in a certain way. You can rock from side to side. You can do the kick the legs straight. There's no wrong way to do happy baby. You just have to be happy and baby-like, and you're doing it right. Take a few breaths, playing around, and really what we do in this pose and why I always end my practices with it is because it's the last movement. So it's actually the end of the true asana. Everything after this really is getting back more into the meditative side of the practice. This is where it ends. And this is where you bring completion to the movement. So as you're finishing up your happy baby, I invite you to move into Shavasana. I'm not going to join you in more than just a few breaths of Shavasana. I'm going to leave you there. Take a few minutes though. It's an important part. If there's more meditation or breathing you need to do as part of your home practice, do it after your Shavasana and close your practice for the evening. Good Shavasana is easy. Just fully let go. Doesn't matter how wide the legs are, the arms are way out or close. Pregnant women in their 2nd and 3rd trimesters, you've probably been told to be on the side body, which is definitely the way to go. And you can do the side body, even if you're not pregnant. That's Shavasana. You can also do the front body. Be mindful if you twerk the neck to one side to do the other side. Shavasana is not about the setup of the body as much as it is about the full surrender. So I'm going to join you for a couple breaths of baby belly or belly Shavasana. Be in your Shavasana. And I'm going to leave you here and give you just a few words of closure. 1, I'm sending you love and light. 2, I'm inviting you to step into your power as we continue through this time of change. And 3, I'm thanking you and sending you gratitude for joining me this evening. And I'm leaving you here, connected to the earth, connected to the ground space below you. Remember, you are supported, you are loved. Thank you for joining me. The light in me reaches and has witnessed the divinity in you. Namaste. Thank you again and happy 4/20/20. Mwah.